And we are live.
Hey,
How's it going, man?
good. What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, welcome everybody. I don't know if we have anyone in here just yet, but this is going to be the first episode of Chillin with my Gnomies, and this is going to be a series of shows where we bring some resellers and online entrepreneurs on, and just kind of do a little bit of chit chatting about what they're all about, and kind of just sit down and talk and get through some stuff. I don't know if that made the most sense, but we'll get that that script down as we do it a couple more times. But all right, so let's get right into it. Greg, if everyone doesn't know the Valet Picker yet, his name is Greg. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do, how you got started, stuff like that, where we can find you on social media.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. My name is Greg. I'm the valet picker on YouTube. Also, you can find me on Periscope. I specialize in men's clothing. I'm a reseller, first of all. I specialize in men's clothing on eBay. I got into Amazon about 6 to 7 months ago. I dabble in that. Pretty much scan anything with a barcode when it comes to Amazon, and just been learning and never stop learning when it comes to like brands to sell on eBay. You can find me, like I said, YouTube, Periscope. I'm on Facebook, and I'm just happy to be here tonight.
Cool. Why don't you share your it's the Valet Picker, the space Valet space Picker on all of those, right?
Yeah, that's right, the valet picker.
All right, cool. Um, cool. So yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's always good chatting with you. So we got through that. I wanted to like ask. I'm not going to ask. This is going to be a quick interview. There are some things that I wanted to share, um, get people to share with. Like, what influenced you to start what you do? So you said I know you sell a little bit on eBay, a little bit on Amazon. Why don't you just like get into that a little bit? What got you started, and why have you continued to do it?
Yeah, how I started is I was just trying to supplement my income about 4 or 5 years ago. I was always also intrigued by the fact that you can start literally with nothing and build a business from reselling. It's very easy to start with, very something very minor. You ever hear of the red paperclip guy, where
Yeah,
it's, where he started with a red paperclip and he just kept doubling his money, or kept doubling his value, and he eventually bought a house. I was always intrigued by that, and I actually started with a college yearbook. I actually picked it off some guy's doorstep on Christmas Eve. I don't think I've ever told this story before, but I found a free college yearbook on Craigslist, and I flipped that, and I just kept continuing to flip until the first month I did that, I made like $800 to $1,000, and I just kind of pursued that, and I really never stopped, and it's just been a business at this point. It's a business at this point.
yeah. Um, so how did like figuring out about reselling, like how did that affect your lifestyle? Like we were talking a little bit earlier how you came up with your tag name is because you valet. Like how did when you first found out about reselling, how did that affect your lifestyle going forward? Was it like a big change? Was it like an aha moment? Like tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, how the valet picker name came about was I was working at a valet company, and I went out picking with a fellow coworker of mine, and the cashier asked me if I'd like to donate, a couple bucks to their cause or whatever, and of course I did. And she said, "Hey, you can write your name on this, whatever it was," and I wrote. That was the very first time I ever wrote the valet picker, and then just the name stuck with me after that. And yeah, so I don't know. I just was not in a good place like 4 or 5 years ago, and when I found reselling and the community specifically, this community is a great thing. A bunch of supporting people, always have your back and always have good things to say about you, and always learning from one another. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't in a good place 4 or 5 years ago, and just with the money that I've made reselling has been able to open up new doors for a couple other things that I want to do with my life too.
Good, yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's amazing the ROI you can get on some of this stuff, you know?
Exactly. You can't find that kind of ROI anywhere else.
So how many hours a week do you spend on your business on average, would you say?
Recently, more and more, but I'd say on average about 30 hours a week.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Um, and then why don't you like quickly get into some of the stuff for the people that don't know you that you look for? Uh, why don't you highlight some stuff? Well, just broadly, like when you're going out, what are the types of stuff that you're looking for to pick up?
Yeah, I look for all kinds of things, but it always seems to go back to men's clothing, to be honest with you, just because I know a lot about it, and you know, I don't know, I just learned a bunch over the past couple of years. So, no matter where I am, whether it be like maybe looking for clearance items at Marshall's, or maybe I'm at a yard sale or a community-wide yard sale, it always seems like I bring back some kind of clothing in some aspect. Um, but I mean, while I'm at a thrift store, I realized like 6 months ago, I'm leaving so much on the table, so much money on the table, by not jumping into Amazon FBA. So while I was at the thrift stores searching or sourcing for clothing, I figured might as well look for some things that I might be able to sell on Amazon FBA. So that's how that's how Amazon became an income from me.
Yeah, there. It's crazy. I was listening to someone else talk the other day, and they were like, "You will walk by stuff in the thrift store at a garage sale that could be worth hundreds of dollars, and you won't even know that you walk past it, even if you've been reselling for, 5, 10 years. It's just you won't know about it, and someone else will walk by and pick that up.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and then you kick your butt later. But it looks like we have a couple live viewers with us right now. It looks like we have 12. So thanks everybody for
Shout 'em
checking
out.
this out so far. If you haven't yet, do us a favor and hit the like button below. Show us some love. We got the Greg, the Valet Picker, in the house. We already covered a couple things, but we're going to keep on going on with some of the questions we have here, and we're going to get to some good stuff at the end. So let's. Why don't you give the audience some advice if they were going to follow in your footsteps and
Yeah.
wanted to get started in reselling or aren't already? What would you suggest they do to get started?
I'd say not to get in over your head. I'd say start small. That's how I started on Amazon FBA. I started with my first small box. I think it was probably like, I don't know, 15 items, if that maybe. I'm not sure what I did, but I knew I wanted to get in it, and I knew I didn't want it to take over my life. Um, so just start small. And if you're gonna start on eBay, or thrifting, if you're gonna start trying to I wanted to get in it, and I knew I didn't want it to. So just start small. And if you're gonna start on eBay, or thrifting, if you're gonna start trying to make, I wanted to get in it, and I knew I didn't want to. So just start small. And if you're gonna start on eBay, or thrifting,
That might be me. I don't know.
yeah, I think it is. I'm not sure. It's all right. First show, no problem.
All right, how's that?
It's good on my part.
Okay. So, sorry guys, I was just flipping over to the YouTube so I could see the chat. I was in the Google Hangouts and I was unable to see the chat there, so it looks like we're good now. I can read the comments. Okay.
Yeah, but like I was saying, if you're interested in making money from thrift stores, because there is a lot of money to be made with the items you find at thrift stores, I would always encourage people to just take like $20 and go buy something even a little bit about, and flip that. Start with that. Find a niche. Find someone on YouTube that has a niche you're interested in, and find someone you relate to, and you'll learn a lot from them. That's what I would encourage people to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting started is half the battle.
That's right. Exactly right.
So, I know you sell a lot of clothing on eBay. Why don't you? What is your strategy when you're for the eBay listers out there? What is your strategy when you're listing? Is it more long tail? Is it more like quick flip? Like, what is your strategy when you're going to list?
Yeah, the slow nickel approach actually works a little bit better for me and my lifestyle. But as far as what do I look for, I look for items that have very good condition. But I know that's not what you're asking. Actually, I know what you're asking. I go for the slow nickel approach because it seems like more of a business, and I feel like I'm more business minded. And if you're just looking for that quick dime, you might be leaving money on the table. That's just the way I look at it. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And I
How about
know that
yourself?
you do a lot of long tail items also, right? So long tail. So because I know we talk about doing blazers and stuff,
Yeah, that's right.
and they can take some time to sell. So.
Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. I
So
think I think I said this to you the other day. I think I'm going to stop picking up suit coats and only pick up suits or sports coats.
why don't you share that with anyone that's thinking about selling clothing or does right now?
Yeah, because if you're only picking up the suit coats versus the suits, you have to find that pair of pants that match. If you know what I'm saying, like if you're going on eBay to look for the suit coat to a
Hmm.
pair of pants that you already have, that's tough to find. But if you're looking on eBay for a sports coat, that goes well with like jeans and casual wear, winter wear, fall weather. Um, and if you're just looking to buy a suit, you're probably going to a formal occasion, so you can just buy the suit on eBay, and that seems to work well. And the suits seem to sell better.
I agree. Yeah. So just so everyone knows in the live chat, we are gonna get questions. We are gonna go over something really quick here. I'm gonna have Greg. He put together the top 5 items from the last couple of months that he sold that he wanted to share with you guys, and then we're gonna take some questions from the chat.
Okay, yeah, I'll do this really quick. How long did you want me to take on each item?
Take it away, man.
Okay. All right. This is so you guys know I sell on eBay and Amazon. I'm gonna try to do this. I've never done this before except the other day, but I think I got it. Do I have it, Mike?
It's up, buddy.
It's up. Okay. This is a Vanson leather jacket. I joke around with a couple people. I was live on Periscope. I've heard of this brand before, so when I saw it, I knew there was something about it that I remembered. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. But lo and behold, in the completed listings, these things are skyrocketing. I only paid $20 for this, and I took a best offer over about a period of like 2 to 4 weeks. I took a best offer of $275, and
Nice.
yeah. Not sure if I X out of this part. Yeah, I think I'm doing all right. Tell me if I'm not doing all right. If you guys can't see the screen or whatever. But this is a nativity set. I feel, and Mike, you might agree with me. The items that have been made in Italy seem to have better quality attached to them. So I was walking out of a thrift store one day and I saw these. I looked at them real quick and I saw they were made in Italy, and I did a quick completed listing search and I saw that each piece was going for about $17 a piece. But I lotted them together and I took a best offer of $98, and I was out the door for like $4 on these.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Italy seems to sell well for you.
Yeah, especially in clothing. They have like that set. Each you can see the level of detail like in each one of those pieces, though.
What about vintage retro Ralph Lauren? How does that do well for you? Does that do
That
well?
does really well.
Yeah. Did you see this already?
I did, yeah. You
Yeah.
hear me yell about this all the time too, though. I love it.
Yep, Ralph Lauren, Polo by Ralph Lauren. This was a 90s jean jacket. Paid less than $10 for it. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I took a best offer of 100, and this was a quick sell.
Nice.
I scanned books recently. A lot of them. I send about, I don't know, 30 to 50 books to Amazon per every, I don't know, month or so. And this happened to be just a really good score. I paid about $6 to $8 for this at Savers because, you know, their book prices are going through the roof recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, $6 to $8 on this, and I sold it for about $112 to, I don't remember, 112 to 100.
$112.
Yeah, yeah, it was a college textbook.
Now, when you're getting into books, like I've scanned books before. How can you give people a tip that haven't done that before, like if they want to go out and start scanning them, like how, like, so say you have your Amazon seller app or you have Profit Bandit, like I have Profit Bandit, but it seems like the prices can be all over the place. How do you, like, what's a quick tip for, getting started with that?
If you're worried about that, I'd say only send in books that are really good condition, so you're not, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Yeah, and also get in cheap, so the risk is not there. So the risk isn't there that much, I guess.
Cool.
Did I answer your question all right?
Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just randomly, I never picked up anything like this one day. Or let me say it like this. I never picked up anything like this, and then one day I was just searching through the shelves at Salvation Army, and I came across this Dell keyboard, a vintage Dell keyboard. It was new in the package. This isn't my listing, and these aren't my pictures, but I saw this because I found it by typing in the model number here.
Okay.
I'm sure you can see that. And it was going for like $130 or something like that, something crazy. And I knew what I had, and kind of wasn't. I was kind of taking it with a grain of salt because I see the prices on some of these things, and I think maybe I could get that for it, and maybe I can't. And because I've never sold anything like this, I figured, I might as well take a chance.
Yeah.
I was in it for $6, and I sold it for about 120 on this. Because it was new, and you don't find anything like this anymore.
Nice.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I got a couple more questions for you, and then actually I got a question in the chat right now that we'll just take from Aaron Anderton. He said, "What are your guidelines for books?"
What are my guidelines for books? Let me see if I can answer that. In my business model is I don't send anything into Amazon that won't sell for like less than $12 when it comes to books. I do shrink wrap each book I send in, and I know a lot of people, tell me I don't need to, but it just seems like the smart thing to do, and it's just my opinion. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you sell on Amazon? You do sometimes, right?
A little bit, yeah. Like I picked up some textbooks that I know are gonna sell for like over $50. But I'm really cautious with it just because I haven't done too much. But in the past, I sold some stuff like Guitar Hero stuff, and I sent in video games a lot also. But so say you're picking up with some more Amazon tips, since I know you're scanning pretty often. So say you pick up a book, what is your price point like? So say you said you wouldn't pick up anything that's going to sell for less than $12. What do you feel comfortable paying for something that's going to sell for $12?
Oh, paperbacks I pay about $1, and
Okay.
yeah, hardcovers I won't pay more than like $3 or $4.
And then after that, you're starting to get like, it's hard to turn a profit, right?
It's not hard, but because I'm not a book seller, so I can be picky about the books I send in. But if you're a bookseller, your margins can be lower, and you can afford to take higher risks, and that's fine. You might know a little bit more about books than I do. Just like I know a lot about clothes, so I might be able to take a higher risk at
Yeah.
some clothing items. I just paid, what did I pay for that Burberry's? I paid $40 for a New with Tags Burberry shirt the other day because I can take that risk. I am comfortable in my own skin that I can take that risk and know I can sell it for like $150. I'm not worried about stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah, another question like that. Since you do a lot of clothing like I do, all right. So let's talk price points because I know a lot of the people that are in here and that will watch this video will watch us because of the clothing sales we do. I know what my numbers are. When you're in a thrift store, and someone asked us today, I think it was Jesse asked, what are the numbers that you're looking for when you're going to buy a shirt? So, say you're going to flip your dress shirts for 20 normally. Like probably that's your limit in 20, I would guess. Like, what are you willing to spend on something like that?
If I'm only going to sell an item for $20, I'm not going to pay more than like $3 for something I can ship first class. If it's a shirt and it's going to be light and cheap to ship, then I know I can still make a $10 profit on something I paid like $3 for. But
Okay.
I don't do that anymore, to be honest with you. I tend to get into shirts at like $4 or $5, and I won't pick anything up unless I know I know I can sell it for $29 or more.
Nice. Yeah. So you're trying to if you're putting the work into doing the listing, you're gonna pull the higher profits out of it, right? The higher sale.
That's right. My time is worth more than it was 2 years ago as a reseller.
And so the same thing with a suit. So my theories on these higher end brands are changing. Like you said, you paid $40 for that Burberry shirt. Now I'm coming across some stuff that's like some of these suits. Like I'm really gonna start targeting the suit market more. When I'm looking at the prices that they're pulling compared to some of the blazers, like I'm still gonna pick up my blazers, but the prices they're pulling in on some of these suits, I don't know if you've looked through the sold listings. They're crazy. They're harder to find, but I'm starting to find places where I can pick them up. So, say you were able to set a minimum price point at around 100. What would you be willing to pick up a suit for like that, or even a blazer?
If I thought I could get 100 for it, I'd pay $20 at a thrift store.
Yeah, I agree. I was dropping I think $18 per suit the other day.
Yep.
Because even if it has a flaw or something that you miss, you're still gonna get 30, 39. You're still gonna make your money back.
That's the
If
reason.
you guys wondering why I keep looking over the side, I have the chat feed over here. So
Yeah, that's the reason I won't pay more than like 18 to 20 because there is one out of 10 suits or 1 out of 10 items you bring back from a thrift store is going to have a flaw. It's something you can't avoid, and it's just something you don't see. It's like I'm getting better, but I have one bag to donate. It's actually behind me. I thought it was over here, but it's not. Yeah, last year I was donating every month a bag, just bringing it back to the thrift stores. This year I'm doing much better. I have one bag that I have to donate, and that's since the beginning of the year. So I seem to be, focusing on the details at the thrift store before I buy them.
yeah, and it's really everybody that's watching. It's really hard to do that with clothing because what happens is if you run out a good lot of clothing, you get excited. Like if you start finding 1, 2, 3 pieces of the same size, you get really excited, especially if they're like really nice brands. Would you agree? I think that's what happens to me sometimes. Is I'll see one nice suit, like I'll pick up a Canali or something, and then I find another one and another one and another one, and then I inspect the first one really good, and then I'm like, oh, same guy, and I just like throw them right in the cart.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. You got to remember, for the newbies, watching, everything at a thrift store is at a thrift store for a reason. The best thing at a thrift store is still at a thrift store. if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. I'm getting some feedback. Greg, if we can turn your volume down just a little bit, it sounds like we're getting some echoing.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah. And thanks, Savannah, for the heads up. I lost my spot there. Okay, so we were talking about suits, and then, all right, we have a couple more questions in here. From Texas Scale Treasures, what do you avoid like the plague, but you know it makes you money?
What do I avoid like the plague? That's a good question. Why would I avoid it if it makes me money, though? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let's see. Thanks for the tweet. Did you ever find the corner in the store with the jewelry? They're talking to someone else. Okay. Thanks, Texas Gal Treasures. Okay. So I have some. It looks like we're about 20 minutes in. I had some funny questions for you now. The first one: hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger.
Okay. Mayonnaise or Miracle Whip?
Mayonnaise.
We already did this one, but long tail or quick flip?
Long tail.
What's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Why?
Because he can climb walls.
Okay. Would you rather be stuck in an elevator with Bill Cosby or MacGyver?
MacGyver. Because he could probably get me out.
Yeah, there you go. And then, what's the first thing you think about when you get up in the morning?
Shower, coffee.
Simple man. All right, cool. So, thanks for coming on today, Greg. I appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to be keeping these quick. I know some of them run an hour. I'm going to try to keep them under 30 minutes, I think, so it doesn't run into people's nights. But if anybody has any more questions, throw them up in the chat right now. Let's do some shout-outs. And if you haven't liked, please give some likes. I only see 9, but I see 18 in the house. So if you guys like the Valet picker, go down there and hit the thumbs up. We got Nishana Lee, Gerson,
Oh, yeah.
Dango, Treasured Vintage, that's Angie, right?
Angie in the house.
Envy This Stuff. Thank you, everybody, for joining in.
Yeah, great concept on the show. Thanks for everyone that's watching.
Okay, we got another. Yeah, thank you, everyone. We got another question from Envy This Stuff. What brands look good but really aren't?
Billy London. Did you ever see that brand?
What was that again?
It's called Billy London. It's got that really nice print on the inside. It's black usually, and it's got like a lot of purples and a lot of pinks. Billy London, no?
Billy London. No, I've never seen it.
No? Okay, that's a brand to avoid like the plague.
There's a brand that I would say that always gets me by the pattern. It's called like Northwest Territory or something.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and they always have a lot of nice like flannel patterns, and I like to pick up flannels every once in a while. And I always think it's like an LL Bean or something, and I pick those up in the winter because it's an easy $20 flip. But so, what is your favorite brand? Gerson says, "What is your favorite brand?"
Besides the ones that everyone knows about, I love the brand Gant because it's classy, I think, and it's kind of hip, kind of hipster, whatever. And it's it's good looking, good looking clothing, and there's things in the brand that sell better, but that's just like every other brand.
Yeah, I've seen that before. It usually has like a retro look to it.
Yep.
They do a lot of short. I always see the short sleeve Gants with the pocket, the button ups.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's just where I'm at. But you said I love Brioni. Aaron Anderton says, "What up, Valet?"
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
Aaron asked what was the best sale of the year. It was that leather jacket, right?
No, actually, I tried to find it in my completed listings, but it was just too far back. It was just over the 90-day period where I tried to look for this video. It was some ankle braces They were carbon fiber. I picked up at a thrift store for $5, and I sold them both total for $320, and they were really light to ship. That was my best sale this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
We got a couple more. What about men's accessories and shoes?
Yeah, I sell shoes definitely. There's a brand that a lot of people might pass up because I feel it's ugly. It's called Mephisto, Mephisto. Did you ever hear of that brand?
I haven't heard of the brand, but it's yeah, I've heard of
Mephisto.
the where it would derive from, I think.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I sell a lot of Allen Edmonds. Sold a couple pairs of Peter Millar shoes. You know,
FootJoy.
definitely FootJoy. Yep, FootJoy spikes this
Yeah.
time of year, definitely.
Um, there's another. If you guys like picking up shoes, here's a bolo for you. You can look at the sold listings. Floor sheen Imperials wingtips with the V-clee.
Really.
That'll be 80. It'll start out at 80, depending on the color. And you'll know it's got the cardamom leather. Is that how you say it?
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a cool one. Allen Edmonds, I see. Yeah, I just picked up my first pair the other day, so I'm gonna slowly start getting into shoes. But Texaco Treasure says I love selling men's accessories.
Yep, I got a nice money clip from her. I knew she was the one to ask, and she sent me a money clip.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I like your channel. She always has some cool stuff like that on Etsy.
Yeah, I love Margaret.
All right, and she has a funny question for you. Which would you rather? Which would you rather? Eat a dozen boiled eggs or put maraschino cherries up your nose?
I'd say the hard-boiled eggs. I think I'm not sure. Yeah, probably the hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm looking for guests for the next couple weeks, so if you're not already liking us, I have Greg's info down in the description down here. Go over and follow him if you're not already on YouTube. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, head on over to my Facebook. You can contact me easily there and shoot me a line. But everybody have a good night, and thanks for joining. Greg, thanks again. And
Thanks for having
see
me.
you next time.
That was awesome.
Sweet, man.